Hey everyone, Eric from Central Nebraska Chess, and welcome back to Wednesday Weapons. Today we're breaking down one of the most classic openings in all of chess, the Italian game, but more specifically the Giuoco Piano variation. We're going to go move by move and apply the 10 opening fundamentals as our lens for understanding what's really happening on the board. Now, if you haven't seen the intro to this series yet, I highly recommend going back and watching that first, and it'll walk you through all 10 core fundamentals and principles of the opening, and everything we're going to do here builds on that foundation. So let's jump in. White opens this up with e4, and we're already going to start off with fundamental number 1, which was occupy the center with pawns. So e4, we're starting with fundamental number 1, occupy the center with pawns. e4 grabs central space, controls key squares like d5 and f5. And it also opened up lines for both the queen and the bishop. It's about as principled of a start as you can get. Black will then respond with e5, also applying fundamental number 1, which is occupy the center with pawns. Black is not going to fall behind in development, and they're claiming their fair share of space in the opening. White then follows up with knight f3. Now this one knocks out a few different things. For example, fundamental number 2. It influences the center with pieces. It also is fundamental number 3, developing your pieces. And fundamental number 8, developing with a purpose. You're attacking e5, and you're also building pressure, and you're developing your pieces effectively and efficiently. So since Black's e5 pawn is under attack, we've got to do something about that. So Black will respond knight c6. Black is keeping up pace and development. They're defending the e5 pawn that was under attack, and it's also influencing the d4 pawn. So once again, they're following fundamental number 2, which is influence the center with pieces. Fundamental number 3, to develop your pieces. Now to get into the Italian game, White is going to respond with bishop to c4. So now this bishop is going to be eyeballing the f7 square, which is the most vulnerable point early in the game. Now this lines up with fundamental number 3, which is develop your pieces. Fundamental number 8, which is develop your pieces with a purpose or a threat. This bishop just isn't out for a walk. It's pressuring a very weak square, which is the f7 square. So Black, also wanting to develop their pieces and follow our opening principles, plays bishop to c5. Now Black responds with the same exact idea. Good, principled chess. So they're developing with a purpose. They're attacking the f2 square. And we'll see that it's fundamental number 3 is being checked off, developing their pieces. Fundamental number 8, developing with a purpose, attacking the f2 pawn. And now White responds with c3. Now, here's a little bit of an exception to the rule. We've moved 1, now 2 pawns, and we're eventually going to do a third because c3 is preparing d4. So that kind of stretches our fundamental number 7, which is don't push too many pawns, because that reminds us to be cautious. But here's the thing. c3 supports the upcoming d4 push. So it's a flexible exception, and that's exactly what fundamental number 10 says. Be flexible. It's all about breaking one principle to better execute another. And so Black will respond with knight f6. Black develops a knight and adds pressure to the e4 pawn. So they're lining up with fundamental number 2, which is influence the center with pieces. Fundamental number 3, which is develop your pieces. Black is also one step closer to castling, which is a future nod to fundamental number 5, which is castle early. And so White, because they prepared d4, goes ahead and plays d4. White is trying to create a big center with pawns, which fulfills fundamental number 1. Occupy the center with pawns. Fundamental number 8, which is develop with a purpose. We're not just grabbing space in the center, we're forcing Black to create tension or to resolve the tension. So we're forcing black to make a decision. And because of that, black responds, e takes d4. So black decides to simplify here and to relieve the tension in the center. So it's practical, and it shows that fundamental number 10, which is be flexible. You don't always need to hold ground if simplifying the position helps you. So, of course, white responds with c takes d4. Now, white recaptures now, and it holds a very powerful pawn duo in the center, and that hits fundamental number 1. Occupy the center with pawns, and helps with fundamental number 6. Fundamental number 6 is connecting your rooks. Now we've opened up a file for our c bishop, and we've also got the c3 square for our knight. And so we're going to have developing for space and future coordination with our pieces. So black responds bishop to b4 check. Now here's the first intentional violation of a fundamental. Black has moved this bishop for a second time in the opening, which breaks fundamental number 4. Don't move the same piece twice. But it's a check, and there's a potential to pin our knight if white were to respond with knight c3. So it's another example of fundamental number 10, be flexible. Breaking a rule is fine if you know why you're doing it. Remember the adage, you want to learn the principles like a master so that you can break them like an artist. So we're going to stop at this point. The reason that we're going to stop at 6 bishop to b4 check is because this is the first major branching point in this line. From here, white's got a couple of different options that I want you to go out and explore. So you can choose to go knight to c3, which blocks the check and builds a more flexible tactical setup. Or you can choose to go with bishop to d2, which challenges the bishop and keeps your knight options open. So this is a perfect time for you to go and do some of your own homework. Go and explore both of these lines. Look at how the games progress and how they evolve. Find out which one feels much more natural for your style. Some people are solid. Some people like to attack. Some people like to be creative. Some people like to be positional. This is one of those openings that gives you all the different ways that you can play chess. But our goal in this series is to give you a principled foundation, and this gets you to your first real decision. So now it's your turn to go out and choose the direction you want to play. So to recap, we followed the 10 opening fundamentals every step of the way. We saw how to apply them and where it makes sense to bend them or sometimes even break them. And we reached the first real fork in the road where you get to choose your own path. And that's exactly what opening principled play should do. Should get you at a position that fits your style. So next week, we'll dive into another line in the Italian game, and we'll show how the fundamentals continue to show up in new ways. And once again, if this video helped you, please like it, share it, and subscribe. And if you'd like to support our mission to grow chess across Central Nebraska, you can donate to our nonprofit using the link at the top of this description of this video. Thank you so much for watching Wednesday Weapons. I'll see you guys next week.